I had a job offer from WCW. Paul was making me feel underappreciated. I was like, well, of course I got to consider this. It's for a lot more money. There's a good chance they're going to respect me. This could be good for my career. And Paul was like, what can I do to make you stay?
Last question. Are you surprised that Paulie is still doing what he's doing right now? That he's been so very successful in WWE in the position he's in?
Well, yeah, I mean, again, surprise is a big word, and it's been very organic and natural and a long time coming. It wasn't like just something that happened overnight. That
Right.
might have been the first time we saw him on WWE. Might have been like an overnight kind of shock for us because we thought they were our mortal enemies. And there's Paul with the headset on, and I thought like, wow, he must have to do this because he got no other choice because ECW is in such a state. But we learned a lot afterwards about how he was doing business with them before. So with that insight, it makes it even more of a natural progression, and he does a great job. And I love how right away he seemed to pick certain wrestlers as projects that he would help or whatever. And I was seeing his genius and the appreciation for his skills spreading throughout the WWE. He got a lot of pushback at first, when I was there and we were bringing ECW back, and he had all these ideas that were very counterproductive to the other ideas that the rest of the office had that didn't understand ECW. But he got more and more respect and more control, rightfully so. And so that's awesome that he's in a position where he is, and I assume that he's being rewarded for. I know he is. He's too good of a businessman, even if some people are going to laugh at that, to be rewarded for all of his time and efforts.
I talked the other day to Todd Gordon. He's got this book out, Todd is God. That's God is
By Sean Oliver.
Yes, by Sean Oliver. Well, and Todd, yes. Yeah,
And
two really good guys. And he was telling me that, he wanted, it's in the book, that he wanted ECW not to get involved with WWE because you guys were the rebels. You broke all authority. You did everything. And then, it all fell apart once that whole WWE thing came into the picture.
Well, he would have a different insight than I would. I was just talent. And when that started, I mean, the first invasion, people forget about this, but the very first time ECW invaded Monday Night Raw, I wasn't even there. That's when Sabu jumped off the letter R.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that must have been 96. And I think that I had just joined the company. I don't know. I don't remember where I was when that happened, but I wasn't one of their top guys or front feet they would want to put forward, obviously, which also they didn't want to at the first pay-per-view, didn't want to put me forward, which is why I went and did the whole thing with the invasion on Monday night. That was all tied in. But I had a job offer from WCW. Paul was making me feel underappreciated. I was like, well, of course I got to consider this. It's for a lot more money. There's a good chance they're going to respect me. This could be good for my career. And Paul was like, what can I do to make you stay? And then he was like, what if I could get you on WW? I guess it was F then, but everyone would think you're on WCW, but we swerved them. And I was like, well, that sounds great, but how are you going to do that? I didn't know they'd already had this relationship going. And so Todd Gordon would have been, in the middle of that in the office back when that happened. For most of my ECW time, it seems like Todd was already gone. I don't know how early he left, but it seems like, when my memory of the dressing room for most of it, it's at least once I got elevated, for sure, the later years. But it seems like even before that, maybe it was just because we were wrestling more randomly, not 3 times, 4 times a week, but sometimes it was once every couple of weeks or something. Todd was there at the beginning, a little while later, same with franchise. He wasn't there for most of my run.
Right.
Raven was there for, it seems like, about half of it and then left. So some of the my insight to that whole clique, which I consider them and Sandman kind of a bit of a clique because they all talked with each other and maybe even plan on going to WCW together. Those guys with the mole, pulling
The
them over.
mole, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Todd mentioned that as well. Where can people find you on social media? And you mentioned about doing more things. What are you currently doing? What's your daily life like right now when you're not in
Well,
AEW?
I've been traveling a lot this year and a lot last year, a lot more than I thought. So I'm still wrestling. I do a lot of the signings, conventions.
Yes,
Yep. Had a lot of acting projects. Well, 4 or 5 acting projects on the table because of the strike. They are on hold. I have a very busy personal life with my beautiful wife, Katie Forbes.
it
And
sure is.
yeah, hi baby. She just came home.